Hello, beloved. This is David Tensen, and coming to you from my backyard here in Queensland. Would you believe it's like the middle of winter here, and it's about 20 degrees now. It's 8 in the morning, yeah, what a amazing place to live. I am shooting this video partly as a promise and also to see what the response is like. I put a post up yesterday to show a book that I'm reading called The Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine Aron. And this is something that I've known of for a little while, but didn't know of the research that Elaine Aron had done, and that there was really a lot more books on the subject of high sensitivity or being a highly sensitive person. And so I put a post up yesterday with a photo of, hey, I got this book, and just explaining that research shows that 20% of the world's population are regarded as highly sensitive, and this basically means that your nervous system works a little different to others. It's genetic. It's not just some spiritual gift. It's not exclusive for women. It's as common in men as it is in women. Elaine even opens the book saying she struggled with trying to work out what a good title would be. But in short, a highly sensitive person is known through some common traits. Some of those traits are, and she uses this acronym of DOES. D is for deep processor. You process things quite deeply. O is for overstimulation or overwhelmed. You tend to get overwhelmed easier than others. And this could be in a public place. This could be by noise, by lights, by a flux of emotions. You tend to get overwhelmed easier than others. You might find yourself more emotionally unstable, crying more often, all these things. E is for, I believe it was for empathetic. You pick up on emotions easier. You cry with those who cry easier. You're just more sensitive. And S is for subtleties. You pick up subtleties, or you're sensitive to subtleties. And so this makes up 20% of the world's population, roughly. And I've discovered, just as I've discovered this book, it's been giving me some great language to unpack and explain parts of myself, and this is common for HSPs, especially in men, is that they might feel a little, they often feel misunderstood. They are just going to stuff a lot of things away because they're unacceptable in culture. There's a really good book called The Strong Sensitive Boy, which I read, and it's on highly sensitive boys and raising them, especially in Western culture, is really difficult. And I saw the traits written in the book not only in my eldest son's life, but in my own. And it's really helped us to understand how to manage that, how to discipline, how to bring encouragement, things that matter. For example, a highly sensitive child is usually very sensitive to criticism, let alone a highly sensitive person. So we hardly have to say anything, when we've got our son's attention, to bring some kind of correction. He just knows. He picks up on the subtleties. He's very intuitive. He's to use sort of Elijah House language that Carol Brown has written some great books on, which sort of link into some of this research. You're a burden bearer. He's a burden bearer. He picks up on what's going on. So highly sensitive people, there's just this beautifully complex world that they live in. The colors are brighter, sounds are sharper. Life can tend to be overwhelming, but you have a high capacity for empathy, highly intuitive. They're often very spiritual. I love the language that Elaine uses in this book, and you see this often in literature. You'll find there are the warrior kings, which make up some 80% of people who are less maybe emotionally tuned in, and it's not a negative thing. we need both. Everyone's unique. But then you have the warrior king, and then you have the priestly advisor, and they're usually the highly sensitive people. And so they often find themselves in spiritual roles, in roles of healing, in roles of empathy, though not commonly, but quite often. And so there's a test you can do. I think hsperson.com there's a questionnaire there, and you can answer questions. Interestingly, as I'm doing the research that we're conducting at the moment to do with people's connection to the land, or people that feel a rootlessness or a lack of ability to connect with the land, we're finding that there's a huge percentage of people in that research that I'm doing that are highly sensitive person, that scored very high on the scale. Not everyone, of course, but a good portion of that. And so you'll be more in tuned even in subtleties with nature. And so if you want to me to tell you more about this, if this is something of interest to you, I'd be more than happy to put together a series, shoot some videos, and just get you guys informed on what highly sensitive people are like, what they love, what their challenges are, and of course be happy to share just some of my own journey as well. I found it incredibly validating in a lot of areas. You see, as I touched on before, in Northern America, and I think in Australian culture as well, that highly sensitive boy, by the time he's 5, he usually only he just figures out that the only emotion or response to being overwhelmed, the only emotion that's acceptable is anger. And so you have a lot of angry men out there that are probably fairly highly sensitive, but culture has told them that this is not acceptable, and I hate that. I think that robs us from our gifting. It robs us from being us. It robs us from enjoying life. It robs us from who Christ made us to be. And so if what I do helps, especially some guys or parents of maybe your husband's like this, maybe your boy's like this, then would really be blessed to know if this is a blessing to you. If it is, please comment or like, or just let me know down here in the notes in the comments section, and I'll look to put some stuff together for you that will be a blessing to you. All right, God bless you heaps. My name's David Tensen. You can find out more about us at davidtensen.com. That's TENSEN.com. Got a whole stack of resources, teachings, blogs, articles. Also, you can connect with me on Facebook, and our organization page is called LeaderHeart, where this video will feature. Bless you heaps.